I guess I'm just curious about like your first impressions with it, if you liked it or didn't like it. I
Y-
watched your video for a little bit, but
Yeah.
I wasn't able to fully like check it out yet.
Yeah. I mean, because the first half of it is just me reviewing somebody else's thoughts on it. And then the second half, I get into my own complaints, which I didn't even mention a big complaint on that video, which was XP rates. The XP rates,
Yeah.
this skill, any new skill that comes out needs to be fast. It just does, because people are losing their max capes. And I understand that people that aren't maxed might not be able to quite understand what that means, but you do not want to have 50,000 plus players logging in, having lost their max cape, which, by the way, is the most busted item in this game that people get totally used to, and then
Yes.
force them to now train a skill where that is all they are incentivized to do. They can't even continue on with the rest of the game until they get 99 sailing, which means the whole experience is going to be slightly tainted by the fact that they feel obligated to do this to continue on with anything else in the game. So if they were pet hunting right beforehand, well, too bad, because you don't have your max cape. So go get it back first. I should have said this in the video, but I said it on my stream several times, which was 200K at the top end minimum at 99. So,
Ye-
because listen,
I could.
Listen,
Yeah.
100K. So I know they already said that was very conservative and it's just going to increase over time and whatnot. But let's just
Yeah.
imagine it's a 120K. Let's give them some credit, or let's give them some grace, and let's just say 120K is the top end at 99. Dude, that means at level 60 and 70, you're getting 70 or 80K XP an hour.
Yeah, that sucks.
That is going to feel like fucking dog shit. And by the time you finally get to 99, then you're getting 120K XP. I'm saying the minimum at the top end at 99 should be 200K minimum. And that means that when you're level 60, 70, 80, you're going to be getting about 130, hopefully, K XP an hour, 140K. That feels much more reasonable. And I'm saying the minimum should be 200K at the top end. And people have to recognize that, because some people are just going to be doing the whatever it is, sitting at your boat, just AFKing the fucking thing, pulling
Yeah.
up seaweed and shit.
That sucked. Can I just like the fact that like 3 ticking like with the salvage hook and then like trimming the sails is like the fastest way how to do it. I was really let down by the like courier missions and stuff. Like that felt, not only did it feel boring, but like the fact that you didn't get any XP from doing those just felt like a waste of time, at least when I tried it. And I know they're gonna implement new ways how to train it. Like it's probably gonna be like similar to when you know, like those agility boots in leagues, how like every, I don't know, like 5 game ticks, whatever you're running, you get XP. If they did something like that, where like if you're just constantly training or getting XP while training on top of doing stuff, I think it's gonna like steadily make it easier to train and people will actually like to do it versus like needing to click on something similar to like a action based thing, like in mastering mixology to like trim your sails, where like you need to like click on the thing and it gives you an XP boost. Um, I think if they chose to do stuff that like aim to increase the usability for more reclined players as well, it would make the skill more accessible and enjoyable. But yeah, I agree. In terms of like how it should be scaled, I think it should be like around two. Like I could see it being like 180, 200 on the top end, and then like 120-ish like mid game, kind of like equivalent to like Herbivore or something
Yeah.
when you're like higher. Like I could see it like that kind of
And
skilling rate.
I
Then it
just
wouldn't
want
be
to,
too bad.
and I just want to point out again, like when they are saying 100K at the top end or whatever, and I know they've
Yeah.
already gotten backlash on it, so they probably already went back and like, okay, we've got to increase it a little
Holy
bit.
shit.
But just imagine they were doubling down on that. Like 100K max at 99 is what we're aiming for. That means that salvaging bullshit, I kid you not, at level 50 and 60 is going to be like fucking 25K an hour. 30K,
Yeah.
like 35K max. Like that is what it
Bad.
means. That's a nightmare. Like nobody is going to feel good about this. And sailing does not need to be slow. Like I would be okay with 300K at 99. I would be okay if in the mid game you're getting 200K XP an hour. doing, sort of the top end stuff around level 75. 200K an hour, that feels solid to me. I don't think we need to have a skill that takes 200 hours to get 99. Like, that is just...
That sucks.
Yeah. And
especially
this
for a brand new skill. And then you got to think about the people who go for 200 mils. Those guys are going to claw their eyes out. Like, to try, trying to think about the people who are competing for a brand new skill where there's no meta yet. And then they have to not only get 99 just to get their max cape perks back, but then on top of that, do that for the next year plus to even compete.
It's a bad XP rate that I see. And then that wasn't a gripe I even brought up, but it was boat speed. It was... I immediately felt like I didn't want to be on the water anymore. Every time I was on my boat, I just wanted to get back to land as soon as possible. So exploring a new island, that was like the destination. It's like, I'm not having any actual enjoyment on this boat right now.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, because I felt the exact opposite. I felt like I actually enjoyed being on the open water, but the problem was there wasn't enough islands or visually stimulating things, because like you said, the ocean's like a blue carpet when I was watching, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty true. But they can add stuff to make that visually interesting and change the water biome and stuff.
Yeah.
But like when you look at the map, they actually did a really detailed rendering of like the bit design of how it looks, and like they made like a full open seas and like huge like distinctive differences. And I think there needs to be like 2 to 3 times more islands or visually interesting things to go to, because the places we went to, like it was like a lighthouse that had nothing in it, and it was like another island that had like one hunter area, and like another one that had a dungeon, but it was kind of just like a mid Slayer dungeon. And I understand it's like the alpha and I shouldn't expect that much, but all it made me think of is there's really 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I was saying in my video, it's like 5, 10, 15 minutes you're going around and you just hit nothing unless you hit the borders of the map where you could go. And I don't know. It's like I said, it's enjoyable. It reminds me of Lost Ark, where you kind of have a buffer in between doing stuff. I just hope when you're actually doing the skill and trying to train it, it doesn't suck. That's the only thing I really care about past this point, and that the content's actually good.
Yeah.
The islands are worth going to, like 80 plus. I hope the islands actually have like new Slayer creatures or something that's worthwhile to go do it. I don't know. I hope it's worth it.
Yeah. And this is, again, just me being honest. I do my absolute due diligence and play the alpha for 6 hours or anything like that and really hit all the points? No, but I was watching people that had gotten that. I had felt it myself, sort of. I hadn't actually done Barracuda Trials, but I watched a couple hours of other content creators doing it. And I'm just at the point where, this is, again, my personal take, is I want to, like, the thing that really speaks to me about sailing is being able to just go to a different island with a boat. And that buffer, like you're saying, from Lost Ark, it's like, okay, you have this nice chill experience on your boat sailing to an island. I want the boat to feel faster. I want to see everything around me. I want that render distance to be like fucking quadrupled. I'm not even kidding. Like, it doesn't even have to render, just pre-render things. Have the water look cooler, have a water path behind your boat that makes it look like there's a ripple going on.
Yeah.
That needs to be the case. And there needs to be a front ripple as well of water and just some depth to it. And then when your boat stops, have your boat rocking back and forth a little bit. Just make it feel like you're actually just not just hovering over a blue carpet.
Know? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's exciting to me, is just getting on my boat, sailing to an island, and then doing something there. And the only way back is to sail back, instead of these cargo missions where you're just doing like basic, like, oh, pick up a crate, deposit it, go bring it somewhere else. I understand there can be some complexity if you're doing multiple ports. But I would like it if it was like, go and find this treasure on this island. And you're like, okay, so now your mission is go to an island that it tells you to, find the treasure, which could be kind of fun. It could be solved with RuneLite or whatever, just immediately. You go and dig it, and this treasure piece will disintegrate if you teleport. So you now must bring it back manually through the sailing, and then you get this massive sailing XP drop from after getting everything, after giving the treasure back. And the whole time
Okay,
you're getting
I could see
trickle
that.
sailing as well. That's what I want to see. I just want to see like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to be 2-tick fucking salvaging. That's boring. It's
No,
not
that
even
that looks like it
sailing.
sucks, bro. Sorry.
It's not
If you like
sailing.
if you like skilling, that's I guess that's skilling. It's comparable to like 3-tick 4G or something in terms of like where you're moving and like how the actual skill operates when you're looking at I forgot who was making the video. Was it Hitbox Jong or was it I can't remember who it was.
Probably
That
Hebox. I didn't watch
Twitter
it.
post. I there was somebody who posted. I couldn't remember who it
Oh,
was, but
what?
they were posting the method where they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
doing the
That was
salvage
him.
with a
Yeah.
3-tick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's like it's basically like you're just making another like 3-tick 4G mining
Yeah.
method, and it's just not a fun way to play. And I get that that's the max F way how to train the skill or whatever in the current moment, but like, I mean, come on, like, like that sucks. Like, we gotta we gotta find something to circumnavigate that because we gotta make the skill
Yeah.
actually enjoyable and not dead content on arrival as soon as it
Yeah.
starts just to get a max cape again.
A
But
100%. Like if somebody asked me what would make you super excited about sailing, it would be
mhm,
boats move faster. Boats have a speed boost when you get off of it. I don't care if that doesn't make fucking sense in real life. It doesn't matter. We have magic and RuneScape, so we can have whatever the hell else we want. I want to just start zooming. Zoom, boats going fucking double speed. We're zipping
dude.
to an island.
Dude,
Maybe there's some
level
hazards.
99 cigarette boat
Yeah.
with the big engine. That's all we need.
Maybe there's some random events happening on the sea that'll just be for you, kind of like there's a kraken that comes out. You can skip it if you want. You can just get to your island. But the thing that would speak to me most is not cargo missions. It's not these salvaging. It's not even Barracuda trials. It's exploration. And I just want to get assigned something that's like, hey, we heard of this cool treasure on this island or these select islands. Go explore it. Bring back the treasure. If you teleport with it, you're going to get fucked. But as soon as you bring back the treasure, which again, this island would be far out, you go bring it back and then you get a massive XP. That would be fun as fuck. I would be all about that. Then sailing would become a treat where not only does this also, this could also involve multiple people because there's this like really, the devs are scared of alting where, you could just be on somebody else's boat and then you can just kind of like AFK train sailing all the way to 99. But
Yeah.
imagine sailing now becomes like you're just on a boat with your boys. There's 4 of you on a boat and you're taking these missions and the missions maybe are selected for 4 of you in a way. So like you go to somebody, all 4 of you have to show up to this dockmaster guy and he says, hey, there's a treasure here. I'm talking to all 4 of you. You've been grouped up into this grouping system. And now you all need to find this map piece on this island. So you all scatter when you've boarded the island. There's dangerous monsters and stuff. And so if you have a skiller on your team, maybe he can go do the easier route or something like that. But all of you have to go scavenge, maybe kill some monsters, maybe do some digging. You find the map piece. You all have to get back on the boat together. And so if one of you finishes your map piece first, you can go help out the other guy as well. Maybe there's a way to speed all that up. You all have to meet back up on the same boat, and then you travel, and you all get the sailing XP. So
That'd be cool. It'd be like a raid kind of in terms of like how
Yeah.
it would operate with like team function. I like that.
That would be so much cooler. And the thing is, like, some people might say, oh, well, like one of the guys or 3 of the guys aren't even using the boat. It doesn't matter because the boat is just the traveling. It's just like nobody cares. It doesn't actually matter if you're the one actually sailing. I understand lore wise when it says sailing and you're not the one sailing. Maybe people would have a problem with that, but who the fuck cares? Just you're on a boat. Get the sailing XP.
Yeah. I mean, I think the more inclusiveness, as long as whatever comes out with sailing can be scaled from solo to whoever else, and it doesn't impede the way you actually do the content, other than maybe it takes a little bit more time doing it solo, kind of like similar to like a solo raid versus like like a 3-5 man chambers or whatever it is. Like obviously it's gonna be faster. You have more DPS than being solo based on the scaling. So as long as like it doesn't impede the way the gameplay actually works, I would love to see that because I felt like the community aspect of sailing maybe it was just because it was like first day impressions, right? And like everybody's sailing around, but the game just like felt alive to me. And maybe that's like the like high I'm chasing from content that comes out from RuneScape, but like it's all solo centric now and Iron Man centric. And I feel like this could be a perfect opportunity to like make new raids. Like if like in my opinion, I think raids 4 is gonna come like in the middle of the ocean. Like if you look at the map, how they designed it, there's a huge circle where there's nothing in the South Ocean. And I have a feeling like it's gonna be the new raid like location. Like it's just gonna pop up out of nowhere like a Fortnite map or something. Like I don't know. Like that's just the way how I think. It could be an underwater raid, it could be on a landmass that you need sailing to get to. It
Hmm.
would make sense thematically for them to incorporate the skill when it does come out. And it's a few years away from it coming out. They said like 2026, right?
Yeah.
So it's at least a year away, maybe more with change. And I don't know. I think like you said, like I would love to see group interactability. I feel like if you did sailing and it was only solo, it would suck.
It
I think there
will.
needs
And
to
that's what
be
they're so
yeah.
focused on that. They're so I just want sailing to be focused on fun primarily. I understand there needs to be some element of balancing, but dude, people just vast majority of people don't care about that. Like we really don't. We want something that's so centered on fun that defies the other skills where other skills are all solo. It's just you can't even do
Yeah.
anything unless just any group content is seen as almost trolling. Like everything has to be done by you. Sailing has this great opportunity right now to be on a boat with the boys adventuring on the seas
I love
and
that.
outside of the
I love
seas.
that. Yeah. That
Yeah.
concept just sounds like so much fun.
That would be so
And
much fun to train. Like if I got to log in
yeah.
every day as a content creator and Uberu's on my boat and whoever else is on my boat
Okay.
and we're doing fucking 4-man like scavenger mystery hunts where we all are on the same boat together. We're all chilling there. People are fucking doing whatever, fletching on the boat, blowing glass, whatever, just kind of chilling or just, hanging out. One guy's directing the boat. Maybe he'll get a little bit of bonus XP for actually navigating the ship himself. And then the rest of us are all just hanging out. We land on the island. It's almost like a hunter rumor where you don't know when you're going to
Yeah.
get the map piece, but it's like, okay, kill 10 of these enemies or dig in these certain locations. Eventually you'll find it. You might get lucky, and then you can help out your other teammates. And then boom, back on the ship, send back. You get another task. It's something also crazy. You get random events on the sea. If you participate, you get potential bonus XP that could be quite high, depending. It's kind of RNG based, so it's kind of like a gamble if you want to do it or not. Dude, I would log in every day, enjoy myself. Right now, when I think of sailing, I'm thinking of logging in and being miserable. Of just okay,
Really?
time to do some cargo missions. Time to do 2-tick,
Yeah.
fucking pulling up this goddamn garbage off the sea. Time to go
Yeah.
open my spyglass randomly for no reason. Time to do Barracuda trials for the 5,000th time around this like obstacle. Like again,
That's the thing.
maybe I'm sounding
That's the
like really
thing.
negative, but
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing that I can commend Jagex for in the last couple of years is they've been taking skills where you need to basically do the most mundane activities and try and revitalize it because the game is 20 years old and the best way to train it is to go 3-tick 4 granite rocks. And like it still is technically the best way, but there's comparable ways where that's way less click intensive. And for an average person who doesn't want to do that, you can go do volcanic mine with 3 people or whatever, 3+ people, and you don't feel like horrible about it. So I
mhm.
think yeah, I would just love to see that, and for both of our sakes and everybody else's, I just don't want it to end up turning into what Hibox Chong was doing, where you just sit there and
It will.
just salvage. No, I don't think it will. I
Okay.
think they're gonna take this feedback. Like I genuinely think Jagex is working in our best interest, and they're not gonna release something because obviously we will just vote no on it if it sucks.
Yeah.
And I think the great majority of people are very casual and probably don't care about that training method because they want something new. But people are way more defensive of new content coming in. So I don't think anything that's bad coming in is going to come into the game. I think like
That's
we just
good
need
to
like
hear.
maybe 2 or 3 more testing, alpha state, beta, whatever, theta stages, whatever it is, and then
Hmm.
we'll get there. I'm pretty confident because I feel like their new direction with the game has been better than it has been in the past.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm very optimistic. There's probably gonna be pessimistic people who don't want it, but I think I don't know. Just wait on it. Just give it like a year and see if it's good by then.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it does come out at some point before whenever the new
Well,
raids comes out. Otherwise,
they're
it's
saying it's coming out this autumn. They're
oh
they're
okay.
pretty set on that. That was the reveal at RuneFest. And when I was talking to Madalena, it sounded very much like there's not going to be any delay on this if it does come out. Like it's going to be
Oh,
probably
okay.
latest November. So
Interesting.
yeah, which might be a problem, but again, like I want Sailing to come out, but I want it to be good, and that's why I'm sounding very harsh.
Yeah.
Almost, it's because I want.
I think it's reasonable to be harsh.
Yeah, and like at its current state, like I could just gaslight myself, sort of, or just convince myself, like, yeah, I had a great time on the water. This was awesome, but realistically, I logged out shortly after I was on the thing because I was actually just bored. That was my honest feedback. It was just like, okay, I kind of want to move on. And I'm fully aware that this was the early levels. Most content I would ever try. If they were to release woodcutting, and I'm like, okay, we're trying
Why am I not chopping this tree fast enough?
yeah, time to train to level 30 woodcutting. Yeah, I know this would be a fucking shit show. This would be horrible.
That's slow as hell, bro.
Any skill that you show the first 30 levels is going to be dog shit. So
Yeah.
I get it, but I'm also saying I'm still kind of worried, but we'll see. And I know I'm almost certain it's going to come out, and I'm going to be excited regardless. But you know what I'm not excited about? Getting
What?
99 Sailing on multiple accounts.
Ew.
Yeah.
Why multiple?
Well, I'm just saying
yeah,
I'm playing
both
squat
your
cam,
accounts.
and if that will be the final straw. Like I'm never logging into Save again because I don't want to go reclaim my max cape, but I also don't want to play the game without a max cape. So it's like Save is just going to be this relic in time unless Sailing's genuinely fun.
Like, not only would you have to get a max cape again, but don't you have to get GM helmet again?
Yeah, everything in this game is just there's so many things to upkeep. So much
Can
upkeep.
I get your take on something?
Yeah.
When it comes to Grandmaster, do you think that once you've achieved it, you should just always have it,
Yep.
even if new stuff comes out?
Yeah.
Okay, but when it comes to max cape, we have to go get it again, right?
Yeah.
So then
that's
like
what
it'd be a slippery slope, which kind of sucks for whenever we suggest
it's not exactly.
stuff like that.
It's just picking and choosing. It's just not being completely black and white with things. So there's some things that make sense. For example, once you've achieved Lumbridge Diary at any point, even if you lose your quest cape because a new quest comes out, you don't need to reobtain that diary. You can still use fairy rings without your Draymond staff. Imagine that. Imagine you had to start bringing out your Draymond staff again until you complete the quest or something like that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think a skill is a special thing where this never comes out hardly. The difference of GM is that you're losing it 3 times a year or more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would say probably even more.
Yeah. And it's not even just every 12 years or whatever. Like this is and I'll be honest, I would actually be okay if they made it so you can actually still use your max cape. You just can't wear it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Honestly true. That makes sense because then, I mean, you already bought it. Like, you've already achieved it. So why can't you just use it in your inventory?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I guess that's the same thing with like achievement capes, quest capes. Like, you should be able to use the function of the cape if you've already achieved it before. But then I think they'd retroactively have to go back, and then it would just be like more work for them because it's like, oh man, we got to append everything that we put in the game that blocks you from this, and then Spaghetti Code will probably kill the game or something, or like blow it up, or another Twisted Bow dupe will happen or something. Who knows? Something crazy will happen.
Yeah,
But I would love to see something like that. Even like Just like stuff like that, like making it so you keep Grandmaster helmet, you have the functionality of max cape. I would love to see like especially like with Turiel skipping and like getting like Inferno tasks. Like I feel like if you're Grandmaster, you should just be able to like get them, but like you just don't have Slayer XP from it or something. I don't know. They said they were gonna fix Turiel skipping in some
Mm,
way, but I don't know what their plan is with that.
they're
I have
so
no idea how
slow
they're
with
gonna
those
curb
updates.
that.
Just takes
Yeah.
years, years and years until something lands.
I hope they figure out something though. I don't
They
even is that
will
something they're just
eventually.
gonna like come out with or do they have to pitch that? Like because sometimes it's just an integrity update and they just do it. And I feel like
Yeah,
they don't pull some stuff.
they'll probably just send it because it affects like 0.001% of the community.
Yeah.
So they'll just
I just
send it.
see Stooge posting about it on Twitter like, "Oh man, they need to they need to fix the Inferno skipping." It's just like, sorry, I'm just doing a very crude European man dialect
Um,
impersonation.
yeah, they'll fix that eventually. But in regards to Zuckhelm, I would love it if you got as soon as you get Zuckhelm, you keep it and the perks until the end of time. And the only difference would just be you get glowy eyes if you've completed everything.
Ooh.
So you get the glowy red eyes if you're fully up to date. And if not, well, you were one of the OGs that completed it earlier.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like I know it's unfair for a lot of people to, but you got to keep in mind most people that have done Zuckhelm will just go for the next tasks anyway because they're already that kind of player. But at least
Yeah.
it's respecting those players that aren't that way. It's respecting their time and it's not continuously taking away their achievement month after month.
I think it should also scale down to people who completed Master and Elite too, because I had this
It should.
problem.
It
And,
should.
yeah, I had this problem in one of my YouTube videos where it was mid game update, and I was in Inferno trying to do like a Jad skip or something for the CAs, and I had an Elite helmet, and I lost my Elite bonus because I didn't have enough
Oh
CAs,
my
so I
God.
couldn't wear my helmet. So I
That's
was like,
fucked.
I had to disassemble it and put on a Slayer Mask Eye. And I didn't realize I could do that because I was stressing during Zuck on relog.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
like, yeah, there was like a couple hits where I was just sitting there with no helmet on, and I was like, what's going on? But
Okay.
I ended up getting the Jad skip, which was dope for the video.
So let me like clarify my entire stance, and I want to hear your take on it, and then if you could see any issue with this. So
Okay.
as soon as you've achieved any tier, you have it eternally. So as soon as you have achieved easy, no matter how many tasks it is at the beginning, you now have it, even if you lose that threshold later. Even if you log, as soon as you've achieved it once, you have it. And then the same going all the way up until Zuck. With Zuck, as soon as you've completed Grandmaster one time, you now have the rewards and are capable of wearing the helmet until the end of time. And the only difference of upkeeping just the Zuck helm at this point would be glowy eyes if you're now fully updated with everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing? I can already offer one negative, which would just be like, that's unfair for the people that have to do the new content. So I'm going to pull up an example of the Delve boss coming out. So
Yeah.
now the Delve boss comes out, and now people that didn't achieve Zuck Helm have to do that on top of everything. And you don't. But you got to keep in mind, I was just going to like share my opinion on that, and then I'll let you. But like,
Sure.
for those that think that's unfair, well, you should have done it earlier, one. But
Yeah.
on top of that, you now get the glowy eyes. And to be fair, most people that are a Zuckhelm pre that wouldn't even have a problem doing the Delve bosses as long as they're making everything pretty standardized across the board. As long as they're not continuously making tasks harder and harder and harder, which I think is actually a backwards way to go about it. I think Zuckhelm should always be around that same difficulty they started with content, which is actually what they've been doing. I think everything's been pretty standardized nothing's extremely out of reach. It's not like they just introduced like a solo Tob fucking task or anything.
It's like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 in terms of complexity and like skill based plus like gear check. Like you can do a lot of tasks on CAs that don't need megas, but then at a certain point you do need megas, and it's like literally just a gear check if you don't have it. Plus like having friends that also have the gear. Plus also like there's like a million things that you can like get boosted, obviously. But going on with your point before, yeah, I think it should reward the people who've previously done it, in my opinion. And like generally, I didn't really have a take on this before, but now seeing how much content they actually do like produce and come out with yearly compared to how it used to be before, where it was like barely any updates. I think you should be able to have something when it comes to helmets. Like maybe it should just be a cosmetic where if you have an up to date one, maybe it's a slightly lighter tinge, or like it has like glowing eyes for the Zuck helmet. Like maybe the Master and the Elite could have like a little bit of a variant difference that lets you currently have it or whatever. Or maybe just Zuck needs to change. But
they could do it all three.
I don't see the negative. I just I just think it's so dumb that as soon as you log in the next update, you can't wear the thing that you've had.
No grace period whatsoever or anything. Yeah, just you're fucked.
Yeah, like maybe the max cape there's nuance to it, because like if you're wearing something and you're not max, then it kind of makes sense that you can't wear it. But like you said before, like it'd be cool if you could like use the functions of it. But same time, come on, man. Like we already got it. Why do we need it? And I guess the only problem would be like if you did have GM say, and then like what the new giants come out, the giant bosses, and it's like you don't have to do it, but you still have GM helmet. Like you just might never do that content ever and try it out. So I guess that would be the only negative, really. Would just be the people who've already done all the content in the game might just never pot it because they've already like done the thing they wanted, which is getting Grandmaster.
But luckily, there's always way more incentive to be fucking around with the content in the first place.